For all the tales of colossal fortunes built in the market, there is a shadow, a chilling reality that every true speculator must eventually confront. The terrifying precipice of absolute ruin. It is the moment when the market, in its unyielding indifference, utterly strips you bare, erasing not just your capital but often your very confidence, your ego, and the illusions you harbored about your own infallibility. I speak from experience, having scaled the dizzying heights of wealth, only to be cast into the abyss, broken and seemingly beyond repair. This profound devastation is not merely financial. It is a visceral, psychological shattering. It is the raw, unvarnished taste of complete defeat, a testament to the market's absolute power and its merciless nature towards those who transgress its immutable laws. Yet it is precisely in this crucible of utter destruction that the most profound lessons are forged. Lessons that lay the groundwork for a resilience, a wisdom, and ultimately, a triumph far greater than any initial success. This is the story of how the market broke me, only to build me again, stronger than before. Subscribe now, leave a like, and write any comment. This way you'll help more people see and hear this message, and I'll know that my work is not in vain. The experience of being utterly broken by the market is unlike any other. It is not merely the loss of money. It is the stripping away of every false assumption, every hint of arrogance, and every illusion of control. The financial devastation is just the visible wound. The deeper trauma is psychological. The crushing weight of having been fundamentally wrong, utterly outmaneuvered by a force that cares nothing for your aspirations or your prior victories. This raw experience forces a confrontation with one's own limitations, often in the most painful and public manner. Such profound losses serve as the ultimate, albeit brutal, tutor. They leave you with nothing but the bare truth. The market is always right, and your opinions, your hopes, your personal desires are utterly irrelevant compared to its verdict. This devastation, while terrifying, creates a blank slate, forcing a complete surrender of ego. It is only when everything you thought you knew has been annihilated that you become truly open to learning the real unvarnished lessons that lead to enduring success. I've been broken by the market not once, but several times. Each time the underlying cause was the same: a profound disregard for the very principles I had learned, often at immense cost. It was my own failure to adhere to the iron discipline, to follow the rules that govern market success, that led to my downfall. Impatience, the seductive whisper of tips, the hubris of fighting the tape, the fatal error of averaging down. These were the transgressions that exacted their merciless price. The market's lessons were always exact, its punishments utterly precise, meting out retribution for every deviation from objective truth and disciplined action. These were not mere setbacks. They were total repudiations of my approach, paid for with thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, and often the bitter currency of lost years. The market, in its absolute indifference, demanded my full attention and unwavering adherence, teaching me that its laws are not suggestions but unbreakable commands etched in the very fabric of price. After being utterly broken, cast out of the market, there comes a mandatory period of brutal self-examination. This is not a time for self-pity or for blaming the market. It is a relentless, dispassionate introspection, a forensic dissection of every mistake, every deviation from principle. You must strip away all emotion, all ego, and confront the cold, hard truth of your errors. This forced solitude, this painful reckoning, becomes the most fertile ground for genuine learning. It is in these moments, amidst the financial and psychological rubble, that one gains clarity previously obscured by success or ambition. Every losing trade, every violation of a rule is meticulously analyzed, not for blame, but for understanding. This process of unflinching objectivity transforms profound defeat into the most invaluable education, revealing the precise flaws in one's thinking and methodology. The market, in its severity, forces you to confront yourself, unveiling truths that casual victory would never expose. The process of rebuilding after being broken begins not with finding new capital, but with rebuilding the mind. It is a profound, internal recommitment to the core principles that were abandoned, a systematic re-education of one's own psychology. This is not about seeking new tricks or secret strategies. It is about reinforcing the very foundations of discipline, objectivity, and patience that were eroded by past transgressions. The true work of revival is an inner one, purifying the mental landscape. This arduous psychological work involves silencing doubt, eradicating the insidious whispers of fear, and re-establishing an unshakable belief, not in oneself as infallible, but in the immutable power of the market's laws and the effectiveness of one's chosen rules. It is about consciously reinforcing the principles of detached observation and disciplined execution, ensuring that the lessons painfully learned are permanently etched into the very core of one's being. This mental fortitude, once rebuilt, becomes the bedrock upon which all future success is founded. Subscribe now, leave a like, and write any comment. This way you'll help more people see and hear this message, and I'll know that my work is not in vain. Through this crucible of self-examination and mental rebuilding, the true laws of the market cease to be mere theories and become unshakable pillars of one's rebuilt strategy. Principles like always following the trend, the absolute imperative of capital preservation, the power of patience, and acting only on the market's undeniable confirmation are no longer just rules. They are truths etched into the very fabric of one's trading soul through the searing pain of past failures. These rediscovered truths guide every decision, acting as an infallible compass. For instance, when I was able to re-enter the market after being broken, my strategy was never to gamble for quick profits. Instead, I patiently waited for the market to unequivocally declare its line of least resistance, then cautiously entered with a small position. Only when the market's action confirmed my thesis did I commit further, scaling into a winning position. This was the core lesson. The market validates not your hope, but its own movements. The return to the market after being broken is not a headlong rush, but a meticulous process. The art of the comeback fueled by a newfound, profound discipline. It begins with calculated caution, using small, almost imperceptible testing positions to gauge the market's true character and to re-establish confidence in one's own execution. This is about probing the waters, not diving in blindly. Once the market unequivocally confirmed its intention, once the line of least resistance was undeniable, then and only then was the time for calculated aggression. This meant methodically adding to winning positions, pyramiding only when the market continuously validated the trade. This process of controlled, exponential scaling, born from unwavering discipline, was crucial for transforming modest initial gains into vast fortunes, ensuring that every step forward was grounded in confirmed reality, not reckless abandon. The profound experience of being broken by the market, of having every false assumption shattered, forges an unshakable emotional fortitude that few ever attain. The corrosive whispers of fear, the deceptive allure of hope, the destructive pull of impatience. These are now recognized not as external market forces, but as internal enemies to be ruthlessly mastered. The scars of past defeats become not symbols of shame, but indelible reminders of the market's power and one's own hard-won self-control. This profound mental toughness, hardened in the crucible of absolute defeat, ensures that strategies are executed flawlessly, with robotic precision, even under the most immense pressure. It is the capacity to maintain cold, objective clarity, where others succumb to panic or euphoria, ensuring that decisions are always based on facts, not transient emotions. This emotional invulnerability, born from the bitter tuition of failure, is the ultimate competitive advantage, allowing for a consistent, detached execution that defies the common human tendency to err under duress. Understand this truth. The market's lessons are continuous, and even after monumental successes, the possibility of being broken remains a constant, chilling reminder. The market is a living, breathing entity, perpetually testing, perpetually evolving. My journey was a relentless cycle of learning, of sometimes losing, and of perpetually evolving. There is no final state of mastery where further lessons are not possible, only a state of continuous vigilance and adaptation. Every setback, even after a glorious comeback, serves as a sharp reminder of the market's absolute power and the unwavering need for vigilance, humility, and strict adherence to principles. The market does not care for reputations or past triumphs. It tests continually, demanding constant evolution. This embrace of the perpetual learning cycle, this acceptance that every loss, no matter how painful, is a further refinement of one's understanding, is the true mark of an enduring speculator. My friends, the transformation from being utterly broken to building unimaginable fortunes was not an act of magic, nor a fluke of inexplicable luck. It was the direct, inevitable, and ultimately repeatable consequence of internalizing and applying immutable principles, often through the brutal tuition of failure. The true wealth acquired was not merely monetary, it was the unshakable resilience forged in the crucible of adversity, the profound wisdom gleaned from ultimate defeat, and the absolute mastery of oneself. This is the ultimate legacy, the deepest lesson. Understanding that failure, though a harsh teacher, is an essential catalyst for genuine growth and enduring triumph. Embrace these truths. For when you grasp that being broken by the market is merely an opportunity to rebuild yourself, stronger, wiser, and more disciplined, you unlock an indomitable spirit. Your consistent application of these basic yet profound rules, forged in fire, will pave the way for long-term survival, ultimate mastery, and the potential to build a fortune that truly defies imagination.